Are you certain you know everything there is to know about women, the intricate webs of love, and the hidden mechanisms of human behavior? Prepare for the possibility that your long-held beliefs might just crumble into dust. We are about to embark on a fascinating journey through the labyrinths of psychology, where every revelation has the power not just to surprise you, but to revolutionize your entire way of thinking. The information you are about to receive promises to be so astounding that you may find yourself revisiting it time and again, reevaluating your own experiences. There will be no easy answers, but there will be food for thought capable of changing your perspective on the world and, more importantly, on yourselves. Are you ready to take the risk? Part 1. The first revelation on intimacy and the female form. And so, our deep dive begins. If content that stimulates the mind and pushes the boundaries of the familiar resonates with you, please know that your subscription is the greatest form of appreciation for our work. And of course, sharing a few words in the comments about what particularly struck you or sparked questions will help us make our future content even more engaging. After all, we create this for you, striving to lift the veil on life's most intriguing mysteries. Many have observed that following a moment of physical closeness, a woman often seeks a continuation of the emotional connection. This isn't a whim, but a deep-seated need. While a man might sometimes be inclined to simply turn over and drift off to sleep, a woman yearns for tenderness, confidential talks, and warm embraces. This is a stark contrast, a vivid illustration of how differently men and women can perceive the very essence of intimacy. As Sigmund Freud insightfully noted, we do not choose each other by accident. We only meet those who already exist in our subconscious. Perhaps this desire for emotional fusion after a physical one is that very subconscious search for confirmation of the bond. Interestingly, genuine satisfaction in intimacy can trigger a veritable cascade of positive experiences in a woman, which tend to accumulate and intensify over time. There is another curious point. Women who are not afraid to explore their own bodies, to touch themselves with tenderness and curiosity, often exhibit higher levels of the hormones responsible for desire. This is direct proof of the unbreakable link between physical self-awareness and emotional well-being. Consider this. Your body is not merely a vessel, but an inexhaustible source of amazing discoveries and pleasure. So, how should one behave in an intimate relationship to achieve true harmony? Here is an observation that could overturn your usual strategies. Pleasantly surprising a woman during a moment of closeness turns out to be immeasurably more effective than broadcasting your supposed or real talents beforehand. You might ask why. Loud declarations create heightened expectations, which, unfortunately, can easily lead to disappointment. In contrast, a spontaneous act of tenderness, an unexpected surge of passion, or a unique compliment. It is these surprises that are etched into memory and are truly valued. On the other hand, a woman's lack of interest is often conveyed through subtle, almost invisible signals. For instance, she might carefully avoid direct eye contact. If, however, her gaze meets yours and holds it for longer than usual, this is typically a sure sign of sincere liking and attraction. These seemingly insignificant gestures can reveal more than lengthy monologues, and serve as invaluable indicators of her true feelings. Part 2. The Female Mind and Peak Experience. Astonishing Facets of Connection. And now, dear viewers, prepare for facts that might seem fantastical, yet they concern female nature and the uniqueness of her body. Have you ever heard that a small but real percentage of women can reach the pinnacle of pleasure solely through mental stimulation? Yes, you heard that correctly. Approximately 1 in every 100 women can experience this peak by engaging only the power of their imagination and intense mental focus. Is this not a reason to ponder the boundless capabilities of the human mind? Sigmund Freud wrote, "The masses have never thirsted after truth. They demand illusions and cannot do without them." But understanding one's own nature is precisely a case where illusions give way to an amazing reality. Even more astonishing is that a specific part of the female anatomy, uniquely designed for pleasure, is effectively not subject to the aging process. It retains its incredible sensitivity and functionality throughout a woman's life, granting her the opportunity to experience joy. Furthermore, the average duration of a woman's peak experience can, according to some data, be up to 4 times longer than a man's. This information once again highlights how incredibly complex, multifaceted, and unfortunately, still insufficiently studied and understood the female constitution and its potential for connection are. Part 3. Diverse Facts and the Male Perspective. Let's touch upon some curious facts concerning both women and men, and also consider the male point of view on certain aspects. We'll start with male physiology. The male body is capable of producing an astonishing number of reproductive cells, about 100 with every heartbeat. This clearly demonstrates the powerful reproductive potential inherent in the male system. In the social sphere, research shows that a person is capable of maintaining genuinely healthy and deep connections with about 100 people throughout their life. This figure reflects the natural cognitive and emotional limits of our ability to form and sustain meaningful relationships. An interesting observation relates to the first date. It is claimed that about 80% of men automatically, almost subconsciously, notice a woman's figure. This is neither good nor bad. It is simply a statement of a behavioral pattern, likely rooted deep in evolutionary psychology. And when a woman feels attraction, she might involuntarily show it with subtle gestures, for example, by slightly moistening her lips during conversation. A small detail, but with a very powerful nonverbal message. In the modern world, many couples are discovering the shared experience of watching romantic or stimulating content together. And, as observations show, this can have a positive effect on their relationship. There is a noted increase in closeness, trust, and mutual commitment. Such an experience helps to break down some internal barriers and openly discuss desires and fantasies. Let's recall the wise words of Mark Twain. "The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why." This phrase takes on special relevance when it comes to self-discovery, including in the realm of intimacy and relationships. Understanding your true desires and needs is the key to a fulfilling life. In Western societies, the legs have become one of the more common zones of aesthetic focus. This shows how diverse and sometimes unexpected human attraction can be, finding romantic potential in various parts of the body. Now, regarding male vulnerability. There is a view that many men ignore or downplay. An excessive, uncontrolled display of vulnerability, for example, frequent tears in front of a partner, can in some situations negatively affect her level of emotional and physical attraction. Before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, first make sure that you are not, in fact, surrounded by idiots. Freud ironically remarked, perhaps the key is not in suppressing feelings, but in their appropriate and measured expression, without descending into a constant state of victimhood. This does not mean a man should be an unfeeling statue, not at all, but the way he expresses his sensitivity directly influences the dynamics of desire in the couple. To awaken a woman's genuine, deep interest, one must go beyond the obvious stimuli. Areas like the legs, the aforementioned chest, the neck, and the nape of the neck hold immense romantic potential, but they are often forgotten in the pursuit of more direct techniques. Part 4. Biology, Behavior, and the Secret Language of Women. Want to understand a man more deeply? Look at his friends. They often serve as a mirror to his true nature. And remember this piece of life wisdom. Don't waste your energy arguing with provocateurs. By engaging in their game, you only lower yourself to their level, where the experience in such battles is most often on their side. Now, on the sensitive topic of male size, it's important to realize that the average male anatomy is, in most cases, perfectly sufficient for a woman's satisfaction. The obsession with gigantism is largely a myth, sustained by an industry of insecurities rather than real needs. Sigmund Freud wrote, "The magnitude of your personality is determined by the size of the problem that is capable of driving you out of your wits." Perhaps true male confidence is rooted not in inches, but in an inner core and the ability to give pleasure. Here is a priceless truth of life. Finances can be restored, love can be attempted to be regained, but neglecting one's own health is irreversible. No amount of wealth can buy back lost years and opportunities. Caring for your body is not selfishness, but a foundation. When faced with toxicity, there are two paths: firm opposition or complete distancing. Compromise here is rarely comfortable or effective. For many women, a kiss is not just a physical act, but a moment of the deepest emotional intensity. It's a barometer of the relationship, far more significant than for men, who often focus on the physical gesture. Think about it. The fear of the end often masks a deeper fear, the fear of not living life to the fullest, of not realizing one's potential. He who lives authentically does not fear the finale, for he knows that every moment has been utilized. Anger, while natural, is primarily destructive to the one who experiences it, burning from within. Curiously, watching romance or listening to love songs enhances a woman's emotional experiences and her desire for soulful closeness. These stimuli activate brain centers associated with attachment, influencing the perception of attractiveness. A man's emotional state strongly affects his appeal in a woman's eyes, especially during sensitive periods of her cycle. During ovulation, when a woman's libido is at its peak, she may subconsciously lean towards thoughts of romantic adventures, even outside of a relationship, the ancient call of nature. Even simply observing a woman engrossed in choosing an outfit can evoke an unexpected sense of excitement in a man, playing on primal instincts. Part 5. age aspects of connection, daily habits, and facts about attraction and health. The perception of time is wonderfully flexible. Pleasant moments with a charming person fly by unnoticed, whereas unpleasant situations stretch seconds into an eternity. Our emotions literally shape the reality around us. A man's natural scent, especially his pheromones, can have an almost magical effect on a woman's desire, creating deep, instinctual bonds and awakening strong feelings. As Freud noted, we are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love, never so helplessly unhappy as when we have lost our loved object or its love. The chemistry of attraction certainly plays a significant role here. The path to harmony in a relationship, like any long journey, begins with the first step. Observations show that a woman in her 30s and 40s often demonstrates a more active interest in diverse connections and a greater appetite for intimacy, which may be linked to greater confidence and understanding of her desires. Experts note that a woman's peak of excitement is often reached with the simultaneous stimulation of several sensitive zones, for example, the chest and the intimate area, highlighting the multifaceted nature of female pleasure. Live in the present. This is the key to harmony. Fixating on the past or worrying about the future is a waste of energy. The myth that women dress up only for men is far from the truth. More often, they do it for themselves, for confidence, self-perception, and a sense of control. The choice of clothing is a complex ritual, dependent on mood, plans, her cycle, and even accessories. Women in emotionally comfortable and free relationships are usually more energetic. With age, many prefer older men, valuing emotional maturity and reliability in them, not just physical form. An active, intimate life, as research confirms, improves mood and significantly strengthens a woman's immune system, an important but little discussed benefit. Prolonged eye contact is a classic sign of female interest, and the time spent choosing an outfit, 15 to 20 minutes or more, is not just about fashion, but a reflection of identity and emotional state. Intimate preferences are diverse. Some love morning passion. Certain positions can make it easier to reach a peak experience. About 70% of women value depth and emotional connection and intimacy just as much as the physical aspect. A woman's lips are one of her most sensitive zones. A light touch or a compliment can evoke a strong response. A woman's handbag is a world of foresight, a readiness for unlikely but possible situations. And remarkably, the female capacity for pleasure has no expiration date, bringing joy even after the age of 90. However, sometimes arousal can be accompanied by a sense of sadness, reflecting the depth and contradiction of female emotions. When a woman is attracted, her voice may involuntarily become higher and faster, an unconscious sign of excitement. And finally, about men. Their reproductive cells contain zinc and calcium, studied for their antioxidant properties. The stimulation of a man's chest, often ignored, can also enhance desire. Part 6. Secrets Revealed. What's next? All these facts and observations, dear viewers, show the incredible complexity and multifaceted nature of human connection, be it emotional or instinctual. It runs much deeper than we are accustomed to thinking. Understanding these nuances can radically change the interaction between men and women, both in the bedroom and in everyday life. If this material has been useful to you and given you food for thought, please share it with your friends and loved ones. Your participation helps us to move forward. Your opinion is very important to us. Tell us in the comments what particularly surprised you or made you think, and what topics you would like to see in the future. And if you've watched until the end, please know that we incredibly value your attention. Your subscription and like are the best currency for our efforts. We have put a lot of work into making this material interesting and useful for you. Thank you for being with us.